Hello everybody, I'm just getting this set up here. I'm live streaming here on Instagram and also here on YouTube, both at the same time. So whether you're on Instagram or you're on YouTube, so awesome. Hello beautiful on plants on YouTube, hi. It's gonna be interesting because I'm gonna have questions on YouTube and questions on Instagram, so we're gonna have a lot. Hopefully we have a really fun time today. Welcome guys. So awesome. So if you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to ask, because I'm going to be on here for probably about an hour or so, give or take. And yeah, what time is it there? Right now it is 11 a.m., which would be 1 p.m. Eastern. So the exact time that I wanted to do this live. Hello on Instagram. Hi guys on YouTube. You're so awesome. Cool. So, did anybody see the avocado salad that I posted last night? Sorry about the ambulances. City life. How much fat do you eat in a day as an example? Great first question. So for me, I personally prefer to have 8% of my total calories coming from fats, which ends up being maybe like half of a very small avocado, or maybe a shot glass of nuts. That ends up being about 8%. Sometimes I do go over, and when I do, I find that I get lots of cravings for more fats and other things. So I try to keep my fat intake low. I don't believe in no fat unless you're dealing with serious, severe illness. But for the average person, it's anywhere from 5 to 20% is considered low fat range. So yes, you can include avocados, but I prefer to have on the lower end. That's just how my body likes it. Some people higher, some people lower. But yeah, that's what I do. Aw, thank you. Thank you guys. You're so awesome. Love my YouTube and my Instagram family. You guys are so awesome, seriously. Let's see, let's see if there's any Instagram comments here. Okay, we've got, how much raw food do you eat in a day? An example. So for any given average day, I eat around 2,400 calories of fruits, vegetables, small amount of nuts and seeds, and herbs and spices, and you know, the random thing like nutritional yeast or coconut aminos or whatever. But in a daily example would be, I eat fruit in the morning, so a banana date smoothie, typically 4 bananas, 4 dates, some ice, some cinnamon. Either do that, or I eat like, I mean, tomorrow I plan on having 9 nectarines for breakfast, or I'll have a whole pineapple and a couple mangoes and some bananas. But typically breakfast is just fruit, and I aim for about 800 calories for my breakfast. Snacks are more fruit, strawberries, grapes, whatever I have around. Lunch is a light salad, so romaine lettuce or baby greens with tomatoes and cucumbers and peppers with a really low fat or no fat dressing. And then dinner is my higher fat, where if I do have half an avocado, it's with my dinner, darker greens, heavier, not heavier meal, but like darker greens, more nutrition in that meal. So that's typically what I eat, but on my YouTube channel, I have like 60 what I eat in a days. And tomorrow and Sunday, you guys are in for a treat because I'm filming 2 how I eat in a day with food prep. So watch for those. Those are gonna be out soon. Let's see, let's do a YouTube question. How do you know how much to eat while eating raw? First and foremost, I recommend that you grab Chronometer or MyFitnessPal or something and start tracking what you're eating every day, because we don't necessarily know exactly how much to eat when you go raw. You know, we think like these little salads at the restaurant as an entree salad is a big salad, but it's actually not. So we have to train ourselves with how much we should be eating. So you want to track that and get a good idea of what you want to eat to get your calorie goals and your nutrition goals. And then once you get the hang of it, you'll just naturally know how much food that you need to eat. Again, don't force yourself to eat way too much if you can't. I like to stick around the 2,400 calorie range. I find a really, really hard time getting over 3,000. So, but each of us are different, so you really have to play around with that. Just make sure that you're not eating too little, because that can cause a lot of problems. The avocado salad was epic. Yes, it was epic. I only had half an avocado because I got to rein that in and keep it on the low end. But yeah, definitely that one was really good. Let's see here. Let's go over to Instagram. Insta Live, you guys are awesome. There's a background hissing like sound. Is it just me? Not sure. It could be just the city noises. Might be. I'm not sure. Let's see here. We need 3 restaurant salads at least. Yeah, yes, 3 restaurant salads for sure, because those ones are so small. They just don't fill me up. Please explain how your coaching works. I saw the cost, but what do you do to help your clients with? That's a great question. I do offer coaching, and we do it either via Skype or Facebook Messenger, or we can even just do a phone call. What we do is I send you forms, like coaching forms, and you fill those out. So it'll ask you a bunch of questions like what your diet's like right now, you know, issues that you have, your goals, and all of that information. And then you fill that out and you send it to me, and we set up a time. And then what we do is we talk kind of like this, you know, we'll go through your questions, and then we try to figure out what works best for you. So like if you have food sensitivities, I help you decide on meal plans, and we work around your day schedule to try and make it possible and sustainable for you to achieve a raw vegan diet. So it really is tailored individually. Some people really just like to talk to another raw vegan, and sometimes that's all they need, is just to have that conversation and that fellowship during the coaching call. So really it's up to you what your goals are with the coaching call, but that's definitely what we do. And I just help to guide you on your trail, and if you have questions or struggles or whatever, we can talk all about that when we do that. Thank you. Yeah, I have this little like lace thing that I found in my closet. I was going through my closet because I'm obviously moving to Oregon. You guys know that I'm moving to Oregon next year. So I've been kind of purging a lot of my stuff, and I found this little lacy thing, and I thought, oh, I'm gonna wear it for my live today. Okay, so YouTube says, do you soak nuts? Yes, I do soak nuts. The larger the nut, the more time you need. So smaller stuff like seeds and things like that really don't need a lot of time, like maybe half an hour. Sunflower seeds, maybe an hour or two. Pumpkin seeds too, like, you know, as they get bigger, they require more soaking time. Cashews and almonds and walnuts and pecans and stuff need about 4 to 6 hours. I find that's to be a perfect range for soaking nuts, because anything more than 6 hours and they start to get a little slimy and weird. So I try to keep it around 4 to 6 hours for those. Do you snack between your meals, or do you just eat the large meals? Also, do you stop eating at a certain time? Great questions. I definitely snack between meals if I feel I need to. I really, really like to keep my gas tank topped up, because if I can keep my gas tank topped up, then I'm less likely to have cravings. And that's why I always suggest people like snack on a couple bananas or whatever. Even if you don't feel really hungry, just let your body know that you're thinking about it. Have a little bit of fruit here and there, just to keep your gas tank full, which really, 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 really helps with cravings. I do 3 larger meals. I like to have the breakfast, lunch, and dinner deal going on. And as for stopping at a certain time, I really am not regular with that. It depends on what time I wake up, what time I feel like going to bed. If I'm hungrier at night, I'll eat. If I'm hungry, I eat, and make sure that I let my body know. So yeah, sometimes I eat at like 11:30 at night, and sometimes I stop at maybe 7:30. It really, really depends. It's always different every day. Looking for raw vegan food preps, that's awesome. Shadow 1910, you are in for a treat, because I'm going to be filming those 2 tomorrow. So you're going to see me create my breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and all on video. So you'll be able to see the sizes and what I use and how I prep it and all of that good stuff. So I find you guys really like those videos, so I'm gonna make more of them. All right, back to Instagram. Mama's on here. Hi, Linda. You are awesome. Live, love, raw. Gotta get your questions Instagram going. We got some more on YouTube. What type of exercise do you do? For exercise, while I was losing my weight for the first 14 months, I really wasn't doing a lot. And I don't recommend not doing exercise because exercise is incredibly healthy and beneficial for us. Improves your sleep, improves your metabolism, your mood, circulation, your skin, your digestion. It's so good for everything and promotes health. So we should be doing exercise. But while I was losing weight, I was doing maybe once a week. I would go for a run or a hike or go to the gym and lift weights, but really wasn't often. Sometimes I would do it often for 3 days a week for 2 or 3 weeks, and I would be on a roll, and then I'd stop, and then I wouldn't go for a month or a couple weeks or something like that. So I was very sporadic and I wasn't regular with it. Then after I lost the weight, I kept trying to keep up with the workout. That's probably my one thing that I really got to work on is the exercise. And I've been doing better. I'm almost 4 years raw, and now I'm doing yoga almost daily. You know, sometimes it's only 15 minutes and sometimes it's an hour and a half. It just depends on the time I have to do the exercise. And I've been using the gym. I've been going to the gym quite regularly lately for the last couple of months, probably about 3 days a week. I haven't been working out a lot while I'm in Oregon because I've been spending time with my new family down there. So it's been a little hard. We've gone for a couple runs and lots of hikes and everything, but nothing regular. While I'm in Canada, I'm fairly regular with my workouts, unless I have to spend all day editing videos for you guys or something like that. But I do try to keep it in my life. I also go on Google, and you can go on Instagram. If you're on Instagram, check out underneath my bio, there's all of those highlights. I do post my workouts that I find on Google in there, so if you're interested in anything that I've been doing, they are on Instagram. You can check that out. So yeah, definitely highly recommend exercise, obviously, but that's what I do. Will your hardcover books ever go on sale like your ebooks? Unfortunately, I have zero control over the hardcover books. That's all Amazon's deal. All I do is get a royalty, and I get the same small royalty. It's about $7 a copy off any copy, no matter what they price it at. So I don't have any say over the prices on Amazon. That's all their thing. They do put it on sale once in a while. I've seen it for $37.99. I have seen it as low as $18.99, but I'm never told when they go on sale or what they're going on sale for. So it's really their deal, and I just get a royalty off each copy. The ebooks I am in complete control of, so I like to put them on sale often for you guys. They are less expensive because they're digital copies. So that's why I have the freedom to be able to do that for you. But the printed copies are so expensive because they're print on demand. So every time someone orders it, they print it for you right there. They don't have a stock of the books. They're just printed right there. So that in turn is expensive because they don't print like 1,000 at once. So that makes it more expensive. Plus it's a full color book, and it's got a picture with every single recipe. So that made it even more expensive as well. But I wanted to provide it to you anyways as an option for those that did want to have a hard copy. I'm glad that I do have them available, but I don't have any control over the pricing, so sorry about that. Let's see here. Love your channel and your recipes. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you guys enjoy my stuff. We're gonna head over here to Instagram and see if we've got any new questions going on. Thank you so much for you guys joining me here. Let's see. Do you have suggestions for beginners? How do you transition to a raw vegan diet, and should you go vegan first? Everybody's going to be different. So I personally went from a standard North American incredibly junky diet all the way straight to raw vegan, and I didn't look back in 2014. So some people can do that and some people can't. If you aren't one of those people who do well with cold turkey decisions, then I would highly recommend going vegan first. So you're going to want to cut out the meat. You're gonna wanna cut out the dairy, you're gonna wanna cut out the eggs, and get rid of the animal products first, and then focus on being vegan, and then start including higher raw. I do have an ebook. It's $5, and the price is going to be going up because I'm going to be redoing that book, but not anytime soon. So you guys can head over to my e-store, payhip.com/rawfoodromance. The link is in my Instagram bio. It's also on my YouTube video in the description below. But that book is a transition guide moving beginners over to a raw vegan diet, and it's week to week, so you can go slow if you want to, or you can do the whole thing all at once. It's up to you. But yeah, it's first you want to get rid of all the animal products. Then you're going to start to want to eat higher raw and cut out the oils. First you want to get rid of the oils and any higher fat items, because that will help you to eat more fruit. If you're eating high fat, you're going to be forced to limit your fruit, and that can be kind of difficult. So you want to cut out the oils after you've cut out the animal products, and then start to increase your fruit and vegetable intake. Then if you want to go raw, you want to cut out grains and root vegetables and like roasted things and cooked foods and all of that. I would say the last thing that you could get rid of would be roasted vegetables like potatoes or boiled potatoes and stuff like that. That should be the last to go, but the first to go would be like processed foods and grains. Definitely work on that, and then work on the potatoes, because if you know, and then steamed greens and stuff like that, it's not bad for you, it's just not the best in my opinion. But yeah, if you want to stick, even if you didn't want to do fully raw, you wanted to do high raw, just keep a little bit of steamed vegetables, but not potatoes or roots or grains or anything like that in there. And make sure that you always stay no oil and super, super, super low salt. That will really help too. So hopefully that helps you for transitioning over to vegan diet. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. You're so welcome. This is my passion. I absolutely love helping you guys and sharing this and all the knowledge that I have. It is my life work, my life mission. I'm here to help the animals and the planet and all of you guys, so it is definitely a blessing to be able to share all of this. Thank you for answering my questions. You're so very welcome. It is my pleasure. That's why I am here. Let's go over here to YouTube for a second. I've tried moving from cooked vegan to raw, but have sensitivities to many sweet fruits. What would you suggest? I prefer fruit over vegetables. Well, to be honest, really, raw vegan diet you should be eating anything that you love and that you can do. So if you can't do the sweet fruits right now, then stick with the non-sweet fruits. Go crazy with them. Just as long as you're eating enough calories and enough variety, then you should be okay. I know it's harder to get the calories in with the non-sweet fruits, but it is possible. You can do it. And definitely keep your fat on the lower end, because I find that for me personally, if I have higher fat, then I do feel a little bit more sluggish or lethargic when I'm consuming high fruit, just because the fat interferes with insulin and can make you tired and cause sugar crashes. So keep your fat low and eat whatever feels best for you. If you do awesome on apples, eat lots of apples. If you do really good on berries, eat tons and tons of berries. So that's just my suggestion. Can you make your 30-day meal plan ebook searchable? Oh, that's a really, 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 really good idea. I'm actually redoing the 30-day meal plan. This is going to start when I get back from all of the fruit festivals. I'm going to the UK, I'm going to the Canada Fruit Fest, and I'm going to try to go to Woodstock. So after I get back from all of those, I'm going to be redoing my 30-day meal plan. And when I say redoing it, I'm reformatting it into a square version so that it can be printed square, because I find that I can fit more on a page, the writing can be bigger, and it'll just be so much better to do it that way. And so when I redo that one, I'll redo the book and definitely have clickable links to the recipes so that you can just click and take you to that page. That will be a feature in the new ebook, so I'm really, really excited about that. And I am making Meal Plan Part 2, you guys. Meal Plan Part 2 is going to be coming hopefully by Christmas. I'm going to try really hard to get that out for you guys, but that's the goal. If not Christmas, then early in 2019. So when is the meal preps coming? I'm going to film them tomorrow and Sunday. So 2 videos with meal preps and what I eat in a day, but they shouldn't be edited probably until the end of next week, I'm hoping. They do take a really long time to edit. So like it's about 5 or 6 hours to edit one of those videos. So we'll see how long it takes, but definitely look for those probably next week sometime. What are your favorite vegetables and fruits? My favorite vegetables are tomato. Well, they're not really vegetables. For real true vegetables, I really enjoy broccoli. I like black kale. There aren't really a lot of true vegetables because a lot of things that we think are vegetables are actually fruits, like tomatoes and cucumbers and zucchinis and peppers, and I love all of those. And for fruit, I really like pineapples, nectarines, meme sapote. Thank you, Live Love Raw, for introducing me to those. Unbelievable. They taste like pumpkin pie. Mangosteens I really love, and I do like bananas, but really I just eat bananas for the calories. So I love an ice cream too. Hey, let's move over to Instagram because I see a lot of stuff going on here. I'd love to know about your tower garden. I am only growing tomatoes at the moment, but would love to start a herb garden too. If you can see over here on Instagram and over here on YouTube, no, you can't see it on YouTube, but my tower garden died. And the reason it died was because somehow the power switch shut off while I was in Oregon, so the water wasn't running and the lights weren't turning on for 3 weeks. So everything died. Now I have to replant everything, but it's really good because I can clean it up and replant. I'm going to be planting basil and peppers, and I think I want to put some dill in there if it'll grow. Dill's really picky. Mint for sure, I want to grow in there. So I'm gonna grow some different stuff. Lots of basil because I eat a lot of basil. I always put it in my drizzles. I put it in my sauces. So I definitely need to have a lot of basil in that tower garden. But yeah, I love the tower garden. It's super easy to maintain. I really just fill the basin about once a month and have like minerals that I add to it, like calcium, and then you can buffer the pH to make sure that it's proper for the plants, and then it just waters itself every 45 minutes. So it's super cool. I really, really love it, and I can grow tons of basil, which costs a lot of money. And you can get that, I think it's Juice Plus that sells that. You have mentioned Candida issues in some of your videos. I have been doing Candida cleanses for about a year and always have to go back to when problems reoccur. How do you stop Candida issues? For one, you need to replace the good bacteria in your colon so that Candida lives in balance. Because Candida, I mean, we all have Candida and you can't 100% get rid of it because it's supposed to live in balance in your gut. So the key is to keep it in balance and to get rid of the overgrowth. And the only way to do that is to kill the yeast and replace the good bacteria. So you have to make sure that you're on a really, really good probiotic. To get rid of the yeast, you gotta cut your fat pretty much almost down to nothing, and you know, eat fruits and vegetables, but eat lower glycemic fruits like berries, apples, peaches, apricots, that kind of thing, but really, really super high on the greens. You can take herbals like oregano oil, grapefruit seed extract. There's a bunch of stuff that you could take to help kill off the Candida. Make sure that you're eating really, really high fiber, but a good 3 or 4 weeks with 0 fat until you can get over the Candida should be okay, and then you can slowly increase your fat and see how you're doing. But definitely you have to replace that space. Like if you kill the Candida, you got to replace the space with probiotics so that the Candida doesn't have a lot of room to grow back. Also, high fat diets, I believe, are causing Candida issues unless you're eating no fruit. Because the sugar stays in your bloodstream and feeds your yeast and your parasites. So fat keeps sugar in the bloodstream, so you want to get rid of your fat so that you use the sugar instead of feeding it to the yeast. So I hope that answers your question. Yeah, with all the fruit, because I got rid of my Candida, I was eating a lot of fruit, but I was eating really, really super low fat, like 5 to 8% most days. And that naturally got rid of my Candida. So that's what I like to promote for Candida. Gonna visit Portland, Oregon in August. Any raw food places you recommend near there? You're going to Portland. I would highly recommend Blossoming Lotus. That's the place that we go to. There were a couple other ones in there that we never ended up going to, so I do forget the names, but just Google raw restaurants or vegan restaurants in Portland. But I highly recommend Blossoming Lotus because that's where me and Nathan went, and it was awesome. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. You're awesome. I'm going to head over here to YouTube and see what we got here going on. The 30-day meal plan ebook is currently available, but it's not clickable links, so you have to like kind of go through it just with your mouse, like scrolling through. But the 30-day meal plan is available as an ebook currently in the link in the description below. So if you're looking for that, you can grab that. If you have a higher fat day, do you eat less fat or no fat the next day? Great question. If I plan on having a higher fat day, I definitely eat no fat for breakfast and lunch. And I typically have a little bit higher fat with my dinner. And I make sure that if I do have higher fat with my dinner, it's really super dark greens like black kale, spinach, maybe some broccoli. Those tend to do really, really well with higher fat. But if I do like higher fat with like cucumbers and tomatoes and stuff, it's not always the best. But breakfast and lunch are always no fat if I plan on having higher fat for dinner. And if I do have higher fat, if I go way over and have way too much fats, like say if I haven't never gone, I don't think over 40%, but if I ever did go over 40%, or 50% fats, it would take a couple days before the fat gets out of your bloodstream. So yes, I would be doing very low glycemic fruits for the next couple days, because if you have high fat in your bloodstream, it's just going to cause issues with the fruits that you have. Download new one for free if we already have the first one. I'm not sure if I can do that with my thing, like with the program that I have. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do that because it will interfere with those who are buying the new version and all of that. So I'm not sure. I will look into it, but I'm not sure if that's going to be a thing. I might just release the new one in place of the old one, and then anyone who buys it new will get it. I might offer a discount to those who have already purchased it to get that, but again, I can't guarantee that, you know, that random new people aren't going to use that code, or you get it for free and all of that kind of stuff. So I really have to look into that before I say yes or no if you can download the new one for free. Let's see, you mentioned gaining weight from eating too many avocados. What did you do to get back to your normal weight? Great question. That is an awesome question. When I was in Oregon in April, we ate a lot of avocados and a lot more nuts than I'm normally used to, and I gained weight. When I got back to Canada, all I did was go back to my regular way of eating and increase my exercise just a little bit. So I went back to eating 8% total calories from fats, and naturally my body just got back into its natural zone that it really likes, and I lost the weight in 3 weeks, which was really, really nice that I did that. But I know for a fact that if I personally eat higher fat, I gain weight. So going back to my normal diet made my weight come off. So definitely it was an interesting experience, and I am glad I went through it because I learned that I have to keep my fats on the low end, which is great. But yeah, you can increase your exercise because exercise is so good. Have you noticed change in skin color since going raw? Not necessarily. I have noticed that my skin has improved. Obviously, I don't have crazy acne anymore. I do get one here and there every once in a while if I'm traveling or if I'm wearing lots of makeup for the day or whatever. Sometimes I'll break out with one, and if I eat higher fat, I'll break out too. But it's only like 1 or 2 or whatever, and they go away really quickly. So that's that. I do have a lot of, I don't know if you can see, I am wearing makeup today, but I have like darker patches of skin, and it's just because my skin, when it heals darker. So I've got these like dark patches from all the acne that I had for the last 20 years of my life, and it can be frustrating, but I'm working on ways to lighten that using a glycolic gel thing that's vegan that I got from my dermatologist, and doing a couple other things on my skin to deal with that. But they're badges of honor, I'm guessing. So looking forward to catering for you again this year's UK Fruit Festival. I'm so excited for the UK Fruit Festival and the Canada Fruit Festival and Woodstock. It's going to be an epic summer. I cannot wait. Especially going back to the UK Fruit Festival, because the UK Fruit Festival was my very first festival. I am so happy that I'm going back, and Fully Raw Christina is going to be there. If you guys want to go to any of the festivals, you can use my code RAWFOODROMANCE, and if it's your first time, you get 10% off your entry ticket to go there. Is your mom coming again this year, and is Nate joining us too? Unfortunately, my mom is not coming to any of the fruit fests as far as I know, and Nate and Linda are not coming to the UK either. Possibly next year. I'm probably for sure Nate is going to come with me to the UK next year. But yeah, so excited for that. Nate's mom, Linda, is coming to the Canada Fruit Festival with me, and all three of us are going to be at Woodstock. So if they let me into the country, I'm really hoping that they do, because I have a pending visa right now, and they technically don't let you into the United States, but I'm going to try for sure. I'm going to go over here to Instagram because it's been a little while. Let's see. You guys are so awesome. Thank you. Okay. My brother has been diagnosed with Bell's palsy. Will a raw vegan diet help him regain movement in his face? This is a touchy subject because I cannot guarantee anything. The only thing I can say is that a raw vegan diet will most likely help because you're going to be giving your body, or his body, the most natural, most pure foods that he can get. I mean, I've heard people healing MS, like HIV, I've even heard, like there's cancer, obviously, heart disease reversing. So I'm not saying that it's impossible, but I don't have any experience with Bell's palsy, so I'm not sure if it will be a cure. Again, I can't say if it'll be a cure or not, but it's definitely with a shot, and he's not going to, you know, be worse off for eating raw. He's going to be getting so much nutrition, and that's going to be really healthy for him in his journey as well. UK Fruit Fest in less than a month. I know, I'm so excited for the UK Fruit Fest. So cool. I can't wait to see you again. It's going to be awesome. How was your experience last year? Definitely my experience at the UK Fruit Festival was life-changing, and I highly recommend people go to a fruit festival because it's like you're in utopia, and everybody at the Fruit Fest is in the same mindset, or most, you know, they're open to it, obviously. I mean, if they're not raw vegan, they're interested in the lifestyle and they want to experience the lifestyle, but everybody is so loving and so accepting, and I was like crying in my cabin because I was just so happy to be accepted the way I was. Because it was my first festival, but at the same time I was on stage with, you know, Doug Graham and Ann Osborne and, you know, like all of these people, Ted Carr and everyone, and I was just like, oh my gosh, this is my first festival and I'm on stage. So it was really overwhelming, but it was the most amazing experience, and I highly recommend people go. I cannot wait to go back. It's gonna be so awesome. You are such an inspiration to me. I went high raw. I did gain weight, but I know it's because I need to work out more and eat less fat. Yes. Also, keep in mind, if you are eating way too many calories, you'll gain weight as well. So, you know, you get some people who are trying to get 4,000 calories of just fruit and they're super low fat. They're still going to gain weight because you're eating way more calories than your body can naturally burn. So you want to take that into account too. Make sure that you get enough calories, but just don't go crazy. Oh yeah, I saw the UK Fruit Festival's YouTube page. I'm speaking in a bunch of their videos. They have clips of some of my talks from last year. So you guys head over to the UK Fruit Fest YouTube channel and check out talks from all of the people who were up there. It was so much fun. I'm going to be speaking, I think, on 4 topics this year. So that is going to be awesome. You did an awesome job filming those, by the way, Simon. So awesome. I always wanted to go to Fruit Fest. You definitely should go. Again, Raw Food Romance is the code if you've never been, to use that code and get $100 off. Let's go back here to YouTube. I'm having so much fun with this, you guys. This is like such a blast. Let's see. Oh, there's lots on YouTube here. How long have you gone without fat? That's a good question. The longest that I've ever gone without fat was 3 or 4 weeks, where I did no fat January, I think. I tried to do no overt fats, so there were no seeds, no nuts, no sunflower, no pumpkin, no avocado, no coconut, none of that. So I did that for 4 weeks, and that's when I started to feel like I really needed that grounding satiation of having a little bit of fats in my diet. I did really well, but I don't believe in doing no fat. I do believe we need fats for healthy cell function, hormones, and all of that, but we just don't need too much fat, which is the problem. In society, we think we need all this fat, but we actually don't. We only need a little bit. So yeah, that was the longest that I've been without overt fats, and it was quite an experience. It was really interesting, but I definitely like to have my fats. And if I'm just gonna do like omegas, blackberries, romaine, and chia seeds are really good for your omega content. Let's see here. We've got more on YouTube. Looking here, let's see. As a raw vegan, have you ever had cravings for chips, Chinese food, etc.? In the beginning, I did. In the beginning, Doritos, chips, and Chinese food were my major cravings. Because you're going from standard North American diet to raw, you're giving up all of that stuff that you're used to, and they taste good for sure and everything, but it's conditioning. You have to, when you move over to a raw vegan diet, it takes time to get used to the new flavors and find new things that you like, and sure, there will be cravings. Now, that said, in the last 4 years, I do occasionally get a craving. I mean, if somebody, you know what, I would say, normally I get the cravings when I see it. Like, if I'm in the grocery store and I see them, I'll get a craving. Or if I'm at a party and I see someone eating whatever, that's when I get a craving. But it's only because I see it. It's not because I actually have a craving inside. It's just because it's there. And that's one of the main reasons why we crave stuff, is because it's just there. It's like right there, available for us to buy or eat or whatever. So getting it out of your sight helps a lot with cravings, and the time that it takes to readapt to the proper way of eating also helps with the cravings as well. In the beginning, when I would have cravings, I would just imagine it. And some people can't do this because it is a trigger, but for me it worked really well. I would sit down and I would meditate, and I would imagine going to the Chinese restaurant that I loved. I would stand in line, I would look at all the food that they had on the menu, and you know, the steam coming off, and then I would imagine them plating it up for me. I would pay for it. I would go and find my favorite seat in the mall. I would sit, and then I would start eating, and I would imagine the textures, the flavors, the heat, the smells, like everything, and chewing it and swallowing it, and I would just really get into deep detail. And after a couple bites, I was done, and my mind was on to something else, and I felt satiated. So, you know, the same way that you get scared when you watch a scary movie, or you feel that lovey feeling when you watch a romantic movie, the brain doesn't necessarily know that what you're thinking isn't real. So sometimes it's just giving your brain what it wants, giving your brain that movie, and then you feel satisfied after. So that's what I did when I had cravings. And I really don't get cravings now unless I see it, and even when I see it, I'm like, ugh. Like, I know how I feel when I used to eat that kind of stuff, so I don't want it. But also when I'm stressed out. Stress is a big one. When you're stressed out, you just say, oh, I just want whatever. I don't want to think about food. But I have trained myself to think when I'm really stressed out, I think I should have myself a big, gigantic raw salad, because that's what I want to make me feel good. So that's how I deal with the cravings. So hopefully that answered your question about cravings. I always suffer from depression and feeling unmotivated to do anything when I go 100% raw. Did you also experience this when you switched to raw? Any tips for this? I didn't experience depression. I actually felt amazing and more motivated when I went raw. I'm not sure why you would be feeling that way unless you are dealing with a lot of psychological issues, because when you give up cooked foods, you're giving up your crutch. So you're giving up that numb drug that keeps your emotions silent, I guess could say. When people go raw, and when I went raw, a lot of emotions come to the surface and you really have to work through that. Talking to somebody is really, really good for that, and making sure that your fat is in a good percentage, because if I eat too much fat, I do get lethargic and kind of tired. So I don't know if that might be an issue too, but definitely talk through your issues with somebody, and maybe look into taking some herbals that have like St. John's wort or CBD oil. CBD oil is amazing, you guys. I am so blessed to have had access to CBD oil when I needed it. I went through some really, really stressful times during the last couple of months right before I met Nathan. And I was taking a lot of CBD oil to deal with the stresses that I was going through. A lot of it was just psychological and me and my own mind. But the CBD oil really helped me through that, because raw is great and raw helps us cope with life stresses, but it doesn't get rid of life stresses. Like if stuff happens to you or people do things to you and you feel certain things, raw is not going to get rid of that, but it will help you move through the depression, and CBD oil definitely works. So maybe check in that CBD oil, Tim. You might find that to be helpful. Teresa, I hope my explanation of the cravings helps with your question. Rachel, see you in July, definitely at the UK Fruit Fest. That's going to be awesome. Would be amazing if you interviewed Raw Christina and she interviewed you for your channels. I would absolutely love that, because Fully Raw Christina was one of the main reasons why I went raw, and I would absolutely love to interview her. And I have some ideas on what I would like to talk to her about, but that would be a surprise for if we end up doing a video. I know the UK Fruit Festival is only like 3 days, so time is quite restrained. So I will try definitely to do a video with her. Even if it's a quick one, I would absolutely love that. So hopefully. These festivals don't serve organic fruit though. I've heard that's not so healthy. Well, that's true, maybe. I know that there were some organic stuff at the UK Fruit Festival. That said, I would personally much rather prefer to eat non-organic fruits and vegetables than to eat organic junky foods like packaged stuff and everything. So I am not crazy on the organic thing. I would love to eat all organic, trust me, I would, but I can't afford it. So I do eat things with pesticides. I use a fruit and veggie wash. I rinse things. I know it's not perfect, but I'm doing pretty awesome. I know there's always room for improvement. I'm so glad you guys are enjoying this live stream. So awesome. Thank you for all your questions. Do you think it's possible to cure varicose veins on a raw diet? Yes, I believe it's possible. Dry brushing, circulation, like stimulating your circulation. You can get these mats that have little spikes on them to stimulate your circulation. Get that going. Low fat and no animal products, because varicose veins are kind of like, from what I know, there's like blocked veins and the blood is pooling because you have bad circulation and you have too much fat in your blood. So cutting the fat down, increasing your hydration, increasing your circulation, and getting rid of the animal products are really going to help with varicose veins. I used to have a little tiny patch on the back of my leg. It is still there, but it's definitely a lot lighter. I would say at least 80% lighter. I still see them. It's going to take a lot of time to heal those because I've been raw for 4 years and it's still kind of there, but it is going away and it doesn't hurt like it used to. Like before, if I pushed it or touched it, like way back, like 3 or 4 years ago, it would hurt. It would actually hurt. It was like the blood was all pooled there, and now it doesn't hurt at all. So it is improving, and I believe that you can improve varicose veins. Oil and salt, definitely ditch oil and salt. Oil, again, like I said, it's blocking the veins, the fatty blood. We don't want that. Smells that trigger me for food. Yeah, smells trigger you. What I did with triggers, smells triggers, like for example, when I go to the mall, it smells so good in the food court sometimes. But what I've done is every single time that I go into the mall and I smell the mall, I think this is what this mall smells like. I don't connect it with food. Because before I'd go in and be like, oh, now I want something to eat. Instead, now I think this is just what the mall smells like. It's like an air freshener. Like, you know, if you go into someone's car and they have a cupcake air freshener in their car, you don't automatically assume that there's cupcakes in the back seat. You just say, that smells really good. So think of it more like an air freshener scent, just like a scent in the room, and that there's not attached to any food. I know that's difficult because we know that there's food around, but that's something that can help. What kind of oil, spell it out please, do you have ever tried after eating watermelon? Are you speaking of the CBD oil? It's from marijuana. There's no THC in it. I mean, you can get some with THC, but that's pretty much illegal in most places. But it's CBD oil, which is the healing part of the plant. CBD, I can't remember what it means. Like, can somebody answer that? Cannabidiol? Yeah, cannabidiol. It's from cannabis. So it's definitely amazing stuff. I have been on the 98% raw vegan diet for more than a year, and many things have improved, but not my varicose veins. Keep it up, keep going. Again, like I said, it's been 4 years and mine are still there, but they are improving. So, for CBD oil, I highly recommend lavaloveUSA.com. My friend Elizabeth in Portland sells some awesome CBD oil, so if you're looking for some, definitely go over there. Rebounding is great for varicose veins. That's so true, and exercise as well. Massage is really good. You know, get that blood flowing. You got to keep the blood flowing. Would you recommend no fat to heal eczema, or just 80-10-10 raw and thyme? Yes, I would. Not no fat. I never recommend no fat unless you're dealing with like cancer or, you know, something serious, or severe Candida overgrowth. But just eczema, probably just an 80-10-10 and thyme. Lots of hydration, lots of vitamins and minerals from your fruits and vegetables, and just be patient. That's my suggestion. That's what I would do anyways. Let's see. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You guys are awesome. I'm going to head over to Instagram now. I just got all of those questions. You guys are so good. Let's see here. How long do you keep your chia, flax, or hemp seeds? I've heard different amounts of times they go bad. Yes, they can go bad because they're small seeds and they can go rancid. Normally, I only buy small amounts, and I've never had anything go bad. I think flax is probably the most unstable. If you're going to do flax, grind it fresh and eat it fresh. Don't grind it and let it sit, because that'll go bad. Probably a month, I would say. Hemp seeds I've had last longer than that. It just depends on how you store them. As long as they're away from heat, maybe in a sealed airtight container, that can help as well. Did you combat friend and family members trying to convince you to go off your diet? I didn't, actually. I never had anybody tell me not to do raw. They all kind of just let me do what I was going to do. They did, you know, they did eat animal products in front of me. I did have to convince my mom to become a vegan after she had cancer, but she is vegan now, and she's very, very high raw most days. But for friends and family, I definitely say that you should just be an example. If they are combative, just say, put up boundaries and say, I love you so much, but I don't want to debate this. This is what I'm doing for my health. This is what I feel best doing. I feel really bad eating the other stuff, or I feel bad eating animals, if it's ethical and all of that. Just explain it to them and say, I just don't want to go there or talk about it with you anymore if people are continually having problems. I know friends and family can be very, very tricky because we don't want to hurt their feelings, but we have to let them know that we love them and that our diet decisions have no reflection on them. So yeah, that's a difficult one because people can be pretty defensive, because when you go raw or you make a change for the better, say you lose a lot of weight, you know, you feel amazing, people see that and they want what you have, but they don't want to give up what they're used to. It's really difficult to give up a food addiction, and the majority of us have some form of food addiction, especially if the food has, you know, chemicals added to it and all of that. So yeah, really, really hard to deal with. Can you give me the link on the Fruit Fest UK discount? Go to I think it's Fruit Fest, www.fruitfest.co.uk, and you can go there, and when you purchase your ticket, use code RAWFOODROMANCE, all one word, and that should get you your discount for the UK Fruit Fest. Do certain fruit combos hurt your stomach? No, the only thing that I find hurts my stomach is if I do watermelon with something heavier fruit like bananas or mangoes or grapes. Watermelon I can do with citrus and pineapple just fine, but for the most part I like to do my melons alone. And other fruit combos, no, I do all kinds of fruit combos. So like strawberries and oranges and bananas and mangoes and whatever, I do it all. My whole thing with the whole food combining thing, my philosophy is that if it bothers you, then it's a rule for you. Then you don't have to, you know, follow all these crazy rules because it might not apply to you. I know that my only rules are melons for the most part alone or with citrus, and fat with my greens. Those are my only two food combining rules, and everything else I seem to be okay with. But if there are things that you find bother you, like if you can't do tomatoes and cucumbers, for example, then don't do that. That's just a rule for you. So really pay attention to your body and really listen to your body and see what that is, and you'll find your own rules for your own food combining. Let's see. Back to YouTube. Can you link that site below for CBD oil? Yes, I will write that right here. There you go. It's in the chat, so if you guys want that, on Instagram, lavaloveusa.com for the CBD oil. Bummer, because the only thing I really wanted to be able to heal with raw foods was my varicose veins. Well, that said, it does take time. Again, varicose veins take time, and just be patient with it. Raw foods, like if you're eating raw foods, it's definitely helping your health overall for the long term, which is really good. But I think that going back to eating cooked foods, especially with oils, is just going to make the problem worse. So you might just be keeping it from getting worse, which is good too. How do you feel about raw till 4 to start on a raw food lifestyle? Raw till 4 is great as long as you keep it low oil, low salt, or no oil, no salt is what I mean. And don't eat processed foods. Like, I don't think that we should be eating all of these, like, you know, Gardein and Beyond Meat burgers and stuff in general. I mean, let me rephrase that. They're great to get people off of animal products, and that's awesome. But if you're trying to live the healthiest life that you can, they're not ideal foods. They're still processed foods. Even though they're not animal products, they're still processed. So it can be difficult moving over, and especially raw till 4. I find if I did do a raw till 4 day in December of 2014. So I was only 3 months into my raw journey. I did a raw till 4 day, and I highly regretted it because I felt heavy, my heart started racing, I got really sweaty, I broke out, I felt lethargic and sluggish and all of this kind of stuff. Like, not to an extent, like a crazy extent, like it wasn't like I was dying on my bed, but I could feel the subtleties of it, and I just didn't feel the way I did when I was eating fully raw. So I didn't do any more raw till 4 after that. But if raw till 4 is definitely better than fully cooked vegan, and even better than you know, a standard North American diet. So it is a great stepping stone. But if you want to eventually become a raw vegan, then don't stay stagnant in the raw till 4 lifestyle mindset. Move forward, you know, do more fully raw days, you know, then gradually move down to only 1 raw till 4 day a week or something like that. Make sure that you have goals, because if you don't have goals, then people tend to be in transition for the rest of their life, and they stay stagnant where they are. So it just depends on your goals. If you want to go fully raw, make sure that you have goals to get there. Yeah, heavy metals, get rid of your heavy metals if you have eczema, and if you have Candida, please get rid of your metal fillings, because if you have issues with Candida, it might be because your mercury in your fillings. Candida protects your body from some of the mercury. So I have had experience in the past, like I've been in the natural health industry for now, I mean, since like 2002. And countless times I see people doing like hardcore Candida cleanses for years and years and years and never getting rid of their Candida. And it turns out that they have metal fillings, and that is keeping them from fully getting rid of their Candida. So get those removed, do some heavy metal cleansing, and then work on your Candida to get that back into balance. I never had metal fillings, so I didn't have to deal with that, but I have seen it in the past. So, awesome. Yeah, CBD oil from Lava Love is really great. Sprouting flax is really awesome too. Definitely sprout some flax if you want to do that. Detox your liver, kidneys, depression, anger, fear. Keep going through knowing you're releasing toxins from your cells. Yeah, it'll take a while to heal. I mean, some people it takes a really long time to heal, and that's totally fine. All you need to know is that you're doing the best you can for your body. Are you and Jack still thinking about doing retreats? Should I start saving? Well, me and Jack would love to do retreats, but life has changed quite a bit recently. He's no longer in Costa Rica. He's in southern US, so we would love to do a retreat in Costa Rica, but now I'm actually talking about doing retreats with Nathan and Linda, and we'll probably have Jack come and do some stuff there too. But that's the goal. Yes, definitely start saving, because next year, I mean, right now we're in limbo because I have to move to Oregon, and we've got a lot of cool things coming up that I'm not telling any of you guys about yet, but a lot of stuff's going to be happening in early 2019, and we'll probably do maybe our first retreat maybe summer of 2019, maybe not. We might do fall 2019 or early 2020. So we do want to run retreats. It's definitely on the drawing board. We just don't know when, so totally start saving. How many calories do I eat in a day? Typically 2,400 calories. If I'm working out a lot, then I end up at 2,700 calories and 10% fats. What do you think about raw food and keloids from hormones? That's a really good question. I have had keloid scars, and they had healed doing raw vegan diet, but there was only one. My Instagram live is going to be ending in 2 minutes, so I'm just going to end it right now, and we'll get back to that question. I just want to see here, what kind of smoothies should I make if I have a bad headache? I will answer that question in a second. I'm just going to end my Instagram live. And we will get back to Instagram live in just a second here. Thanks for being patient, guys. Starting a live video, and we will be back on Insta Live right now. Hey guys, back on Insta Live. The question that I had last was smoothies for headaches. I would do a green smoothie, high fiber headaches, and it really depends on why you have the headache. That would be my question, because a headache can be all kinds of things, and it depends on what you need. A smoothie with greens and turmeric, because turmeric is anti-inflammatory, which could help with that too. But sleep is what I would say. Have some sleep if you can. I know you can't always have sleep if you're working and you have a headache. But turmeric is really good for inflammation. So I make my own burgers from sprouted beans and pseudograins and tons of spices. That's awesome. Totally, I love that idea. How do you feel, or how do you find a baseline to start out with raw, meaning the carb fat protein ratio? Is Chronometer's MyFitnessPal numbers they give you sufficient to start with? You can set Chronometer to low fat raw vegan. Just set it to 80% carbs, 10% fats, 10% proteins, and then just go from there. That's what I say. That's basically what you want to start out with. You want to start out with low fat, and lower glycemic fruits in the beginning, just for a week or so before you add in any of the mangoes and pineapples and stuff like that. I still eat some cooked food in the evening if I don't lose too much weight and I'm far from overweight. Yeah. Cooked food in the evening, I mean, some people can do it. I personally can't because I have food addiction issues, and that would trigger me to want to only eat cooked food. So that's why I stay away from cooked food for the most part. Plus, I find that the times in the past that I did do cooked food, I felt really dehydrated, and I don't like that feeling, so I just don't bother with cooked food. How much weight is in your salads? That one, I don't know. I've never weighed my salads. I'm not sure, but they are pretty heavy. I would say at least 3 pounds, because I'm using like a whole cucumber, a whole pepper, like, you know, half a pound at least of cherry tomatoes, and lots of greens, lots of dressing. I use like a cup or 2 of dressing. So they're pretty heavy, definitely. Well, Oregon is the best place for retreats, but I'm biased. We will probably be running our retreats in Oregon. So we've been talking about, you know, which places we would like to go, and we're sure that we can find some awesome places to run some retreats. And eventually our 5-year goal is to have like a retreat house where we can have people come and do in-house retreats where you stay in cabins and we do all of that kind of good stuff. But that's down the road. Definitely going to start doing some of those. Going to be really awesome. What raw foods do you recommend before and after a workout? That's a great question. I personally do bananas. I love doing bananas pre-workout and post-workout. But my favorite combination would be pre-workout. I would do a banana date smoothie. So like 4 or 5 bananas, 4 or 5 dates, and drink that slowly. You know, when you want to switch them in your mouth to get the enzymes to start digesting that. So make sure that your bananas are ripe. They've got black spots on them. They aren't yellow or green, because if you eat yellow or green bananas and then go work out, you're going to be all gassy and bloated and feel kind of crappy. After a workout, my favorite thing to eat is watermelon. And then maybe after I eat the watermelon, maybe about half an hour later, doing more bananas. So that's what I love to do for post-workout. So thank you, YouTube, for your questions, and keep them up. I want to keep going. I've been on for about an hour now, but if you guys have more questions, definitely post them, because I'll stay on as long as you guys want me to. Let's see here. We've got back to Instagram now since I've started this new live here. How do you cope with peeing all the time? I've recently went raw and I'm always going to the toilet, and it's obviously kind of annoying. It can be annoying, but you do get used to it. I pee like 8 times a day, which I find is, I mean, I've been doing it for so long that it's just normal. And it is normal, it's natural. We should be doing that anyways. If we were wild animals, we'd be peeing 8 to 12 times a day anyways. It's just annoying because we have jobs, we have obligations and commitments and meetings and driving and all of that kind of stuff. So it does get annoying. But that said, I personally, every time I do pee, I think to myself, I'm healthy, I feel great, I'm glad that I do pee often, because that tells me that I'm hydrated, that I'm healthy, and all of that good stuff. So it does suck, but I just do it, and it's not so bad. Hey, Lissa, hi, I'm Raw LEK. I got my skin getting clearer. I still have very few hair. Do you think that a high-carb, low-fat, raw vegan diet helps with hair growth? I personally believe it does. You know, there are things that you can do. You can do like massaging, you know, create more stimulation to your scalp, can really help with that as well. But yeah, definitely a high carb, low-fat, raw vegan diet, I think is really great for hair growth. But some people do go through a little bit of hair loss before they go through hair growth, because your body's kind of getting rid of some of the older growth to make way for the new, and that can take a lot of time. Making sure you get enough calories is a huge thing, and keeping your stress on the low end, because stress and not eating enough are probably the two #1 reasons why people lose their hair. So yeah, I think it should be fine as long as you're eating enough. Hi to England. You guys are awesome over there. Watermelon is so good in the summer. I completely agree. Absolutely love that. Good question. Do I take any supplements? Yes, I do. I take vitamin D3, a vegan version, and vitamin B12, vegan, methylcobalamin, sublingual under the tongue, a spray or tab, depends on what I can get at whatever time. But these are the two supplements that I take regularly. B12 I take like every second day or so, because we only need 2,500 micrograms a week, and I take about 1,000 milligrams or micrograms every second day. So B12 I do supplement because I believe we all need to. It's not a diet vitamin. We're not supposed to be getting it from our diets. We're supposed to be getting it from our environment, from the soils, from natural springs, and gross as it is, from our feces. We get it on our hands, the bacteria. And then we eat that. So basically those two, vitamin D obviously from the sun, those are environmental vitamins. And if we live in cities, high north, with no access to wild soils, we like toilet paper, clean water, all of that good stuff, it's good, but it's caused a vitamin B12 deficiency. And there was a study that I saw Mick the Vegan posted just the other day. I think it was that. Michael Greger posted it, that B12, like vegans and non-vegans are both equally likely to be B12 deficient. So it has nothing to do with the diet, it has everything to do with your environment and how sterile everything is and your access to that bacteria. And also, if you have the bacteria in your colon making B12 and it's making it too low in the colon, then you might not be absorbing your B12. So it is a great idea to supplement. Honestly, it's not the end of the world to supplement B12. I think it's better than getting all of these issues from B12 deficiency. I also take K2 once in a while, not often, but vitamin K2 is necessary for bone and teeth formation. Again, K2 is formed from a bacteria that converts K1 that you get from high in your leafy greens and some fruits into K2, which is necessary for bone and teeth formation. So I do take K2 because I don't know if I have the bacteria in there converting it or not, so I just take it as a precaution. Let's see. How many bananas would you say is good for one day? Well, I personally eat 5 to 10 bananas in a day. Some people eat more like 15 to 20. Some people only eat 2 or 3. It really depends on what you like, so go for it, as long as you're eating low fat. What are some of the things you do to de-stress? Great question. Yoga and meditation. The best things to do to de-stress. Taking a nice long bath, coloring, drawing, painting, doing my photography, finding a hobby, going for walks, spending time in nature, going for a drive. I really like that. That can help me de-stress too. Creating new recipes, making food, chopping in the kitchen is really de-stressful. Sleeping. I like to sleep when I'm stressed too. But those are all things that I like to do when I'm stressed instead of defaulting to food. So hope that answers your question. Oh yeah, B12 deficient and had anemia when eating paleo. Yes, it definitely has nothing to do with diet. It totally depends on your access to the bacteria and if the bacteria is making B12 and if you're absorbing it. So you look beautiful. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome. Do you count calories on your raw food journey? How many calories do you shoot for in a day? Again, I've answered this one a few times, but I'll answer it again. 2,400 calories is my daily average, and I don't count anymore. I used to count in the beginning just to make sure that I was getting enough and to get used to the volume of food that I had to eat, but now I don't count anymore because I know. tips for transitioning to low-fat diet. Check out my Instagram live from before, the first one, because I went through a whole thing on how to transition to low-fat, so definitely check that out. Or rewatch my YouTube video, because I'm saving this whole thing and putting it on YouTube for all of you guys to watch later. And now, so thank you, Instagram, for your questions. Keep them coming. I'm going to head over here to YouTube. Let's see. What raw foods do you recommend before or after workout? Okay, answered that. I'm guessing you haven't seen an increase in cavities with a high fruit diet. I'm fearful of that. That's awesome. I haven't had an increase in cavities. I do have a hole in one of my teeth up here, but I've had that hole for like 5 years. So it came from my diet before. All of the acidity, I was drinking 1 to 2 energy drinks a day, lots of coffee, lots of acid-forming foods and junk foods, which caused that hole. Now, that said, being raw for 4 years, that hole hasn't gotten worse, and it's not as sensitive, if at all. I rarely get sensitive teeth now, especially on this top side of my mouth. It used to be so sensitive all the time, and now it's much, much, much better. But if you're worried, I did do a video on dental issues. It was published yesterday, or the day before, so you can go check that out to see what my take is on dental issues. Rinsing after eating fruit is really good because it's not the sugar that is necessarily the problem. The sugar feeds bacteria, and the bacteria produce an acidic byproduct, which is what erodes your teeth. Because if you take a tooth and throw it into a glass of sugar water, nothing happens to it. But if you take a tooth and put it in a glass of Diet Coke where there's no sugar in it, then it erodes. So it's not the sugar, it's the acidity. But the sugar feeds the bacteria, which causes the acidity. So it's kind of both, but it's not the sugar's fault. It's the bacteria in your mouth. So you want to swish your mouth with water after acidic fruit specifically, but all fruit. Make sure that you floss between your teeth to get rid of any sugars that might be in there. Good oral hygiene is so important too. It doesn't matter what kind of diet you're on, because I was on the Canadian Dental Association website, and they said close to 100% of people have dental issues. So it's not the raw vegan diet, it's everybody has an issue with it. So we just have to keep on top of our hygiene to make sure we rinse our mouth. Oil pulling. Also, another thing is check your toothpaste. If you have glycerol or glycerin in your toothpaste, it's coating your teeth, which was thought to prevent bacteria from eroding your teeth. But what it's doing is it's preventing your saliva from remineralizing your teeth. So, grab some vitamin K2 if you're worried about that, because the K2 is necessary for healthy teeth formation. Avoid fluoride. Yeah, I avoid fluoride whenever possible. Just started a raw food diet June 22nd. I've lost 12 pounds. Wow. Wow, that's fast. I would, it might be a little fast. I was losing 1 pound a week, so that might be quite fast. Definitely check and make sure that you're eating enough, because you might be eating too little. And you don't want to lose weight too fast, because your skin can't keep up, and you want your skin to stay nice and tight while you're losing weight. So if you lose weight really fast, your skin can't keep up and it can get more saggy. So make sure that you increase your greens and keep your calories at a healthy rate, and try to lose about 1 to 2 pounds a week, which is healthy. And absorption is the main reason why most people are deficient in B12. That's why the sublingual spray is recommended. Definitely, yeah. How many calories were you eating when you started losing weight? While I was losing weight for those 14 months, I was eating between 2,100 and 2,400 calories at 8% calories from fats. So that's what I did while I was losing weight. What body products do you use, like soaps, lotions, perfumes, etc.? I use a variety of things. For makeup, I like Jane Iredale makeup. That's what I use for foundation and powder. Hourglass makes some really good vegan stuff. Kat Von D as well. Urban Decay has a couple vegan things for makeup. For hair, I just use random organic stuff or whatever I have available to me. For body lotion, coconut oil is really good. I have a couple lotions that I've had for years and years and years and years and years that are organic and natural, and I've been using those. I have a couple really expensive lotions that I use that I'm trying to use up and then possibly not buy again, probably because if they're not vegan, I won't be buying them again. So I always, once I use up what I have, again, some of it's pretty old, but I don't want to throw it away, so I'm using it up. But yeah, everything that I purchase will be vegan. And perfumes, I like essential oils or essential oil blends. I found some pretty cool ones in Oregon, like an Egyptian musk and stuff like that. I can't remember the name of the company though. What do you do when you're not at home? Do you pack food? Yes, I always pack food. I always have snacks with me, take them with me in the car. Bananas and cherry tomatoes are my go-tos, berries as well. And when I go grocery shopping, I like to treat myself to like a little box of pre-cut pineapple or mangoes, and I eat that on the way home as my grocery shopping treat. I released a video today about quick and easy salads, but tomorrow there is a video on what I would do if I ate work at lunch. So I make mason jar salads. I put the lettuce and all the vegetables and everything chopped up into big mason jars, and then I make a dressing, pour it into little mason jars, and I would take that to work with my bowl and my fork. And that's what I would do if I had to go to work. But I do work from home as a freelance photographer and YouTuber, so that's kind of nice. But again, if I do go out, I always take stuff with me, always. Let's see what we have next. How is your hormone health? How does one address these issues at our age? My hormone health is great. I have very, very regular menstrual cycles, and they're really light, easy. My hormones are really good. Libido is good. Everything is awesome. Way better than it was in the past. I had like no libido in the past. My periods were like every 3 to 4 months I would get one, and they would be really, really heavy and super, super, super crampy. Now I do get a few light cramps here and there, but it's like nothing, and maybe for like 20 minutes, just like as my uterus is kind of crunching, I'll get a little one here or there, but really it's not painful. And if you have issues, I would personally recommend taking raw maca powder, because maca is really good for balancing hormones. So that's what I would do. Mix it in a little bit of warm water and try that. Yeah, fluoride. I'm totally anti-fluoride. Glycerin is the first ingredient in our paste. I'd love to know what paste you use. I use one called Magic Mud, and it's charcoal based. There's some amazing ingredients in there. I highly recommend that one. I get it right now in Canada, and I buy a tube for Nathan whenever I see him, because I haven't seen it down there yet, but you could probably search Magic Mud toothpaste in Google and grab some. I like your English. Thank you. Thank you, YouTube. We're gonna head over to Instagram here. Let's see what we've got. You guys are awesome. Okay, let's see here. What is your favorite raw binge food? Fruit definitely would be top of the list. Like pineapples, I could really eat a lot of, and mangoes are good binging foods. But as for like recipes, taco salad, hands down, is my favorite. Taco salad and my spicy ginger almond dressing on a salad, that's really, really good. I could eat a lot of that. And avocados, but I don't like to binge on them because I gain weight. So yeah, those would be my favorite stuff. Could you please stand up so we can see your size? Sure. Here I am. Hi guys. There we go. Let's see what else. Do you go up and down with size being raw? Only if I eat high fat. If I eat higher fat, I do gain weight. And I had gained weight when I was in Oregon because I was eating a lot more avocados. So yes, that was the only time that I gained weight. And the other time I lost too much weight was when me and my ex-husband got divorced. So 2 years ago, I did get too skinny, but that was because I was super high stress and I really wasn't eating a lot for about a couple weeks while that whole thing was happening. It was really super stressful and I did lose a lot of weight, but I gained it back by doing high fat. Really, honestly, like for me, I'm like sold on the fact that fat makes you fat. So love that top. Thank you so much. I love it too. Did you say in the video on that dates make your teeth more sensitive? They do for me. I find that they get sticky and it's just, it's kind of, I don't like eating dates straight. I use dates only in smoothies and in my salad dressings. Yeah, and it's just like, even food getting stuck in there, it doesn't have to be sticky or sweet. It can be any kind of food that gets stuck on your teeth. It can cause sensitivity. Do you use regular toothpaste? I recently switched to baking soda and coconut oil. That's a great combination too. If you want to do baking soda, coconut oil, that's awesome as well. But again, I really enjoy the Magic Mud. It's a black toothpaste. It's whitening. It's got charcoal in it, and it's really good. It's the best one that I've found lately. I really love your videos. You've been my inspiration. I'm so happy that I can inspire you guys. I have to go all raw now. Have a good day. Have an awesome day, Angel. That's awesome. Love Magic Mud. They're local here in Texas. Awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I definitely love promoting them because it's my favorite toothpaste. And I don't get any money for promoting them. I just love them. What type of exercise do you do now and how often? Right now, currently, I'm doing yoga about 5 days a week, almost daily sometimes, and I go to the gym about 3 days a week, lifting weights and doing like hill climbs because me and Nathan have some pretty cool things planned. One of the big trips that we want to do is we want to hike to the coast from Rogue River, Oregon. So it's going to be a couple days worth of hiking and I want to prepare for that. So I'm doing a lot of hiking, you know, carrying backpacks on the treadmill and stuff like that. That's what I'm going to start doing for exercise. You are so cute. Love your enthusiasm. Thank you so much. You're beautiful inside and out. I love my love. Ron98's on. You guys follow Ron98 on YouTube, and I'm like blushing because he's in my YouTube live, and I'm so crazy in love with him. You're so awesome. Do you still eat dehydrated foods? I do on very, very rare occasions. Kale chips, sun-dried tomatoes, and very, very, very rarely do I eat raw crackers. I try not to because I feel dehydrated, I feel heavy. They're not the best, but they are great if you need something on the go, something to pack, and we will probably be eating dehydrated foods while we hike across Oregon. Just because that's really one of the only things that we can pack in our backpacks. It's gonna be really hard to carry watermelons. But yeah, so those are, I do still eat dehydrated foods, but it's super, super, super rare. The last time I had a kale chip would have been when I was in Oregon, if I had any. We had a few. Maybe some like dried sprouted seeds too. I've had a couple things, but really I try to keep that to a no or not eat it. It's really, really super rare for me to do those. Do you drink coffee? No, I don't. I don't drink any coffee whatsoever. I also do not consume alcohol as I am sober. Alcohol, as soon as you put alcohol in your mouth, and this goes for tinctures and wine, beer, spirits, whatever, mouthwash even. Alcohol starts to change in your mouth with your saliva and it turns into acetaldehyde, which is a known carcinogen. So I don't consume alcohol for that. Crazy in love with you, my sweet raw goddess. He's just way too awesome. I'm so blessed to have you in my life, love. How much water do you drink in a day? Great question. I do 1 liter of lemon water in the morning. I haven't been doing it very much lately because my life has been all over the place, but I do try to do 1 liter of lemon water every single morning. The more regular I am with that, the better I feel. So that's what I do. I don't necessarily drink a lot during the day unless I'm working out or it's really hot outside or anything like that. So I don't necessarily drink any extra. because I get everything from my fruits and vegetables. So, and Raw with a Passion, Mama, my mama is on here. So good to see you. I miss you so much. Hopefully we see each other someday soon. Tea, I don't drink a lot of tea. I have consumed tea in the past. I like to boil the water and then let the water come down to, you know, 120 Fahrenheit, and then I steep my tea with it so it's not boiling hot. But you can't guarantee that the tea leaves haven't been dried at high temperatures. So it just depends on how strict you are with raw. I'm not super strict with that. I do drink tea once in a blue moon. So do you drink green tea, smoothies? I drink smoothies quite often for breakfast. How cool that both your mamas are on board with the lifestyle. I know! I had a friend who was like, okay, so you're dating a raw vegan, and his mom is raw vegan, and your mom is raw vegan, and it's like this whole big giant raw vegan family. I'm just so blessed to be part of what's happening in my life right now. I'm so awesome. And miss you mama. Miss both my mamas. I miss you guys so much. Okay, so we're gonna head back to YouTube here. What's your height and weight? I am currently 128. I am a little higher than I like to be, but I am also building muscle, so that could be part of it. And I am 5'5". When I started this journey, I was almost 5'7". I think I've shrunk because I don't consume inflammatory foods, and all of the inflammation between my spine has shrunk or isn't there anymore, so it shrunk my spine, and I feel that that's why I've lost a little bit of height. Not that it's a big deal, because I feel amazing. So can you eat a huge raw salad without any fancy dressing with just avocado and get enough calories and nutrients from it? What are the best veggies with the most nutrients raw? I think greens are probably the highest for nutrition content. You could definitely without making a fancy dressing, but I find I can't do more than half an avocado or I gain weight. But that's just me. That's just me. I can't do more than half an avocado. So I like to do the dressings, but really, honestly, they take a minute in the blender. Like, I pit 5 dates, throw a couple cloves of garlic in there, some smoked paprika, apple cider vinegar and some lemon juice, blend that with water, and I'm done. Super easy, simple dressing. You don't need to get all fancy with them if you don't want to. But yeah, nutrient dense, all fruits and veggies are going to be nutrient dense. They're all going to have different properties, and I recommend having a good variety of everything. You inspire me a lot, but lately I cannot lose weight anymore. I have 10 kilograms to lose and don't know how. There could be a bunch of different things. You might want to increase your exercise. You might want to play around with your calorie count, play around with your fat percentage, work on de-stressing yourself because stress can cause weight gain. Work on your sleep schedule because that might help too. Dry brushing, you know, meditation, yoga, like adding exercise is going to really help to get you into that calorie deficit. But really really pay attention to your calorie count. Are you eating enough, or are you eating too much, or are you eating too much fats? Play around with that because it can be different for everybody. So hopefully you can get there. Well, let's see here. So blessed, so blessed. Just finished a 25-day raw challenge. Feels amazing. That's awesome. So proud of you for doing that. Keep going. Keep going. There's no reason to stop if you feel awesome. That's another thing I want to make a video about would be why, if we're feeling awesome and we're feeling great, why do we stop? Why do we not continue feeling great? We should keep going, and yes, remain high raw. Keep it up. And if you notice that, you know, cooked food makes you feel kind of sluggish, then stop doing it. We really want to be doing our best and keep it up. And beans, yeah, beans. The only reason we miss stuff, to be completely honest, is because we've eaten them in the past. If you never ever ate beans or rice or potatoes or whatever, you wouldn't have any frame of reference to miss those foods. And you wouldn't crave them either because you never would have had them in the first place. So most of it, I would say 100%, is psychological when it comes to missing foods. But for beans, I sprout my beans. I have sprouted lentils, chickpeas, regular peas, mung beans, mustard, broccoli sprouts. Like, I try to keep sprouts in my diet because I do believe that they are essential to long life. I just don't like the idea of cooking them because it kills the life force. I mean, it is, sprouted beans are alive. You want to release that life force and consume it. But cooking them, it just makes them softer and easier to digest, but they're actually not, because they still have those enzyme inhibitors in them, which can cause gas and bloating, and you don't absorb them as well either. So looks like we are done for the day. I don't have any more questions on YouTube, and I don't have any more on Instagram. So if you guys want, then we'll probably end for today. I'm so blessed to be able to be on with you guys. I'm so happy that I have so many awesome followers and fans, and thank you for all your love and support. Everything that you do, thank you, 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 thank you times a million. So blessed to have you guys. And as I said before, the Instagram live will be live for the next 24 hours. So if you missed it, you can watch it here and on YouTube. If you miss it after 24 hours on Instagram, head over to YouTube, because I will have, it is now an hour and a half long. So I'll have this hour and a half long YouTube video posted so that you guys can watch it again if you want. Thank you again. Thank you, thank you, thank you. My ebooks are available, link in my bio on Instagram and in the description below on my YouTube, payhip.com/rawfoodromance. And if you guys want an awesome 20% discount, you can use code SUMMER18, all one word, caps, SUMMER18, and you can get 20% off all my ebooks. My printed copies can be found on Amazon. Just search the books on Amazon, and you can grab those over there. Again, I have no control over the prices on Amazon, so they are what they are. Love you guys so much. I don't want to go. I have so much fun doing these YouTubes and Insta Lives. You guys are so great. But I will sign off, considering that we don't have any more questions. But watch for tomorrow. I'm going to have that video on how I eat at work if I was to go to work. I make a really awesome mason jar salad and show you how it's done. Really, really quick and easy. And the video I just posted today was a 5-minute raw salad with no chopping except to slice the lemon. Yeah, no chopping involved in a raw, gourmet, beautiful looking salad. So check out that video, and yeah, I love you guys so much. So I'm gonna sign off. I'm gonna sign off first off on Instagram. So bye, Instagram. Love you guys. Love you, love you, love you, love you, love you, love you. So, and then here I will stop streaming on YouTube. You guys are phenomenal. I am so happy to have so many of you following me here. Thank you for providing educated information and for being real and honest. You are so welcome. I strive on being real and honest. I want to be as honest as I can with you guys, and I want you guys to know that I am a real person. I don't, you know, I'm not perfect. Definitely not perfect. I'm not 20. I have issues with food addiction. I had issues with alcoholism. Yeah, so I had acne, so my skin's not perfect. I'm almost, well, not almost 40, but I'm gonna be 39 soon. So, but yeah, so I just want to be, you know, as real as possible. And yes, uploading this, it is going to be up as soon as YouTube is ready to have it up, probably within the hour. It'll be up so you can watch the whole hour and a half, as well as it is live on my Instagram for the next 24 hours. So, love you guys, and as always, fruit on.